Welcome back. I'm Delshad Irani and I am in conversation with L'Oréal India's Managing Director Aseem Kaushik, who took charge of the Global Beauty Major's Indian operations in January 2023. Going back to your point about how you want to be the beauty advisor.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
now being a beauty advisor in the online world is a big reality for us because we've invested in tech for a long time now, and we are ready with having a conversation with each of our consumers because it's also an opportunity where we talk about beauty for all, which is what L'Oréal is supposed to bring to all the consumers across the planet. But in a digital online situation, it can be hyper personalized. It can be about beauty for each. Why would it not be possible?
Right.
And this is where, when you talk about AI, how does AI help? AI just helps, augments, and really make this profound in terms of the speed at which you can hyper personalize everything. For example, what we have now, and this is what we're trying to do also not only for India but also for the SAPMENA zone which we have, which is South Asia, Pacific, Middle East, and North Africa. We've just set up a center of excellence in India, which is all about making sure that the right kind of content and messaging is going to the consumer, and each and every consumer in a very precise way. And then there are almost like 150, 200 people sitting there who are just doing this right now, not only for India, because now on a digital front, it's so barriers, right?
Absolutely.
So we do it for Southeast Asia. We are also doing it for Middle East, and we're
And
also
this is all happening at the center of excellence that's
in Mumbai.
India.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how we're leveraging technology in a very big way to hyper augment what we do, or what we would have been doing 5 years ago, possibly, as a precise step to connect to the consumer through touch points, offering them the right experience, and then, of course, helping them choose to buy.
Let me sort of just zoom out a little bit, Aseem, and talk about the India market, the beauty space, personal care. There are, of course, very long-standing, well-established, large players. We are seeing emerging homegrown brands. We're seeing this whole sort of, raft of D2C brands emerging, different sizes, different scale. Do you see them as a collective threat for L'Oréal? And what are you doing to perhaps are there certain learnings that you've taken from some of these new brands that have emerged?
As I had explained to you before, the beauty market still is very nascent, right? So the more people who come in with their brands, with their technology, with their products, etc., will be helping create a lot of buzz around beauty rituals, beauty options which are available in the market. So this is something which we have faced which we are facing not only in India, but we faced around the world.
Right.
So for us, competition is always super welcome. And then it's a question of let the best win, right? So L'Oréal per se, if you look at, is not only a beauty tech company, but it is also a science based company, right? So we've got almost 22 research and innovation centers across the world. We've got almost 5,000 scientists who are working for us. And of these 22 R&I centers, 2 of them are here in India. So you can imagine that there is a large amount of investment which the group has done up ahead of the curve in India to understand the Indian consumer, to make sure that we are kind of making innovative products which are very efficacious for these Indian consumers, right? That's very important.
Yeah.
And once you do that, then it's a question of which brand, how do you talk to, how do you get the consumer to experience those products and decide for themselves which one is better. In fact, we file almost 600 patents every year. So there is a lot. And not only this, we've been helping the industry in general with our expertise on science over the decades.
Right.
In fact, in India, the animal testing ban happened in 2014, and L'Oréal has had innovated there's a product called Episkin, which mimics like your human skin. It's an artificial skin which mimics almost a human skin, where you can test various products, etc., and not test them on animals.
Okay.
And this skin is a product which L'Oréal invented, and today is sharing with not only the cosmetic companies around the world, but also the dermatological companies around the world, which are in this space. So we've actually helped kind of eradicate the animal testing from a lot of the countries where the laws have come into place.
Let me just ask you, let's say, the broader question. How has the definition of beauty perhaps changed? You've, of course, seen the market from different places. And when you look at the India market, if you could maybe sum up how that definition of beauty has perhaps changed for young women of all ages, not just young, but, women, men, how has it evolved?
So the definition of beauty, especially from a context of women, has changed dramatically in India. And you can see that with the roles which women today take in the society. And it's very different from what was expected of them, etc., 10, 20 years ago.
Right.
It's very different. So, and they're taking up roles which are leading the society. It's about creating an impact. So no more beauty is for them to dress up nicely and look nice. It's about choosing who they think they are, and L'Oréal and its brands helping them, make it the best beauty, let's say, definition of themselves possible. So that's what we are doing now. And more, if you look at the Gen Z, Gen Z is very, you've got Gen Z consumers who are connected to all the Gen Z's consumers across the planet, right?
Absolutely.
They have the same concerns.
No borders.
There are no borders. They have the same, inclinations. They're following the same trends. They're
consuming the same content, everything.
They're following the same influences across the world. They're concerned with the same things, etc. So more and more, they're also very concerned about what kind of product they're using and what do they stand for as a brand. So, for example, today, in a very big way, L'Oréal Paris stands up for discrimination of women on street and street harassment. And in India, we've been, and the whole program is called Stand Up. So we've trained almost 600,000 women and men, both, on how to fight against street harassment. And this will be even more amplified in times to come. So these are programs, these are purposes which the brands stand for, and this is where the Gen Z consumer is more inclined to, and of course finding their own self of what they define as beauty, and some of the brands and products to help them kind of make it a reality.
Let me, Aseem, just ask you, what are sort of the top things that you have your eye on in terms of focus from a business point of view going into the new year? Some areas of improvement for you, and what are the top trends that you have your eye on?
So one of the things which we clearly have on our mind right now is on data and analytics. Right? Because when you're operating in a digital world, data and analytics become one of the core parts of driving your business forward. Especially when you have a company like L'Oréal, where we are interacting with a large number of consumers online and digitally, and then we have, of course, these consumers going in and buying our products in both direct e-commerce and indirect e-commerce, whether it is our D2C sites or through our e-commerce platforms which we operate in. Data and analytics becomes more and more profound, and this is where we're looking at in times to come structure ourselves for the future. Because how do you then optimize, make sure that when we're talking about beauty for each becomes a reality almost real time when consumers are searching for products or trying to solve their concerns. So this will be something which we are going to work on in the next coming months. So what we are expecting is, firstly, now India has very, very precise data laws in terms of security, etc. Right? So first is to make sure that everything which we do and everyone around us does is within the framework of the strictest level of data security laws, not only in India but across the planet. That's what we are putting into place right now as we speak. The second one is to make sure that more and more the offer, whether it is through content, whether it is through messaging, whether it is through discovery, the touch points become very, very personalized to you. It's a question of hyper personalizing it for you. And so this is where data and analytics becomes a great part, both from a consumer angle and also from running the business internally as well.
So now what's the outlook for 2024?
Firstly, the outlook for 2024 for beauty is super positive. I'll tell you why. Because what we're looking at is skincare, which is one of the biggest categories in India, to be hyper dynamic in 2024. In fact, we just launched one of our divisions in India called the L'Oréal Dermatological Beauty Division, which works with dermatologists and is sold through pharmacies.
Okay.
The brand is called CeraVe and it's the #1 brand in the US. More and more, the dermocosmetic space in India is, if you look at the total beauty market, about 5%. And this is a place which is now going to take off in a very, very big way. The second good news is makeup. Makeup is back, and in fact, and it's very dynamic. And this will continue to lead the overall beauty market for the next year.
So very hopeful.
Yeah, absolutely. Super positive.
On that note, we'll end this conversation. Aseem, it was so lovely catching up with you again. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Delshad. Thank you.
Thank you.